This is our Council on Aging Committee meeting, and today is September 19th. I had it up there, I said, yeah. Okay, if we can stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right. Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of
The United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yep.
Okay, let me, okay, we'll do the attendance. Janice Brady, present. Kathy Cormier,
Present.
Carmela,
Present.
Cheryl Layden, she will wait, she may be running late. Charlie will not be able to make it today. Anita Hickey,
Present.
Deb Johnson,
Here.
Evelyn,
Here.
and Steve.
Present.
Yep, very good. So, I hope everyone had a good summer. It was, oh, hi there, good, really? I just took a
waiting for
roll
you.
call, so, put this in the front. We'll have to go, run the committee with, the meeting without an agenda. I left it in my computer, printer at home, so.
Okay.
Okay, but, I gave you, I didn't know, I spoke to a couple individuals, and, they said they didn't remember. It could be that the summer's been quite nice and long, that, that probably don't remember getting the minutes, because Debbie always sends it out after when she prints it on the computer.
Okay.
Now, if you want to quickly go that, I'll give you a couple minutes to review them and make sure everything's correct or any errors. Okay, does everybody else set? Any errors that anybody sees in the notes? Does anybody wanna, make a motion to accept the minutes as read?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as read.
Somebody who's gonna second, Mary? Second it?
I'll second.
Kathy? Oh,
Doesn't matter.
okay.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay, okay. Well, the beginning of the meeting is gonna be a little different. Basically, I'm gonna go over, review a lot of the changes that has occurred to the senior center because of the 2.5 override. As everybody knows, we have had to change the days that we have the senior meals, and it's on Tuesday and Thursdays. And then we had to change the timing for them because on Tuesdays you have the pitch club, and they always came in at 12. So now we have the lunch on Tuesdays at 11:15 to 12:30. And then on Thursdays, we kept it 12 to 2, but we have to be gone by 2 o'clock because the knitting club comes in too. And they use the tables and all that, some of the tables. So the price for those meals is the same. We've had to change a few prices for the meals and what we're doing because our budget has been decreased dramatically. So a lot of the stuff is going out of, our pockets, we have no reimbursement. We have a little bit of money, so we have to charge a little bit of money to individuals that come. The senior meal stays the same. It's $3, and that's a Tri-Valley meal. that will stay the same.
And that's a donation,
Yeah.
a $3
that-
donation, Tri-Valley.
Yeah, that one there, yeah. The Memory Cafe, is going to continue to be held on Thursdays, and it's gonna be 12 to 2. And that's gonna be combined with the senior meal. And we may have to increase that to $4 donation, but because of the fact that, we don't have the money to pay a lot of these entertainers we have for the Memory Cafe. So we need to have some money to go towards that, and that's gonna be $4 for now, a meal, cause most of these meals we cook ourselves.
Right.
And-
Do you mind if I?
No, go right ahead,
So
anytime.
this month, Memory Cafe, we're doing a full chicken dinner. So, you have chicken, you have the vegetable, you have rice, people are baking. So in talking with us, when we have entertainment, it runs anywhere from $150 to $200. That doesn't even include the meal. So we thought we would start asking for money towards the meal. It's not so much for the entertainment, but it's just to help cover some of the expenses for the meals themselves. So it's gonna be based every month on what we're doing. Like this month, it's a full meal of chicken. So it will be anywhere between $3 and $5, depending on what. It won't be over $5, it'll never be over $5. And of course, anyone who doesn't have the means to pay, they're welcome. Everybody is welcome. We're not turning anybody away. I want everyone to understand that. So, and if you're able to pay, that's a blessing too, so.
Okay, thank you. We also have some special events that are going on the first Tuesday of the month. We hold a birthday party. We have cake and ice cream, and that's combined with the senior center meal. So basically, that's $3, and that includes the cake and the ice cream that we provide for that. The first Wednesday is the brown bag lunch, and that is $3 for the meal, and that's usually you have to sign up for this one in advance, because again, the people who are providing this brown bag lunch, they're the ones who are doing it. They're cooking it. They're not cooking it. It's really just basically a lot of times just a sandwich. You get potato chips, and you get a drink, and you get a dessert, and usually a fruit. And that has just been was it $3?
It's always $3, right?
They may be going up. We can't, depending on if they're able to cover the cost of buying the food.
That's all we're doing is covering the cost.
That's it.
Luckily, Park and Shop has made donations,
Yeah.
have been donating the meat. So they have two choices, and that's why we asked them to sign up. Like last month, it was turkey and tuna, turkey and tuna, or chicken and tuna
Chicken
salad.
tuna, yeah.
So it's ham and cheese. What kind of cheese do you want on it? Turkey and cheese. So, they have a choice of what they'd like on their sandwich, mustard, mayonnaise. So we make a whole list. We make it, and we hand them a bag with their name on it. So that seems to go very well.
Yeah, and it's made the way they ordered it. They want it.
Right.
They say if you want mustard, or you want ketchup, or you want whatever you want, they'll make it for you that way.
Yeah.
And then the second Wednesday of the month, you can sign up to go out. There's a lot of times some of them like to go out to a different restaurant, and then you have to sign up for that. You pay for the meal yourself, and you have to provide your own transportation, or you can find somebody who will drive you or whatever. But what was the last place they went? Did anybody go?
Bay Path, didn't you go to Bay Path?
Yeah, recently.
I don't know.
You
Yeah.
did go to Bay Path.
Yes, they
Yeah,
did.
yeah. So, and it's different, and they do research on it to make sure that the restaurant they put down to go to has enough space. Because if they have 10, 15 people, some of the restaurants are on the small side, so they don't have the space to handle that many people. But they have a lot of fun, and they say the food's been good. Thursday, September 29th, we are having a end of the summer pot lunch, and that's gonna be hot dogs, beans, dessert, salad, and that's also a RSVP for that meal, so that we have enough food, and that's $3 for that meal. And we, for pre-registration, you can always call, our office number is 508-949-8015. You can leave a message, and also they, so at least we know we'll have enough food. Because, and if you, problem is, if you don't sign up and you do come, we may run out of food. Because sometimes we can have, like Memory Cafe, sometimes we've had up to 50 people come in, So, this is why you have to RSVP. And, Debbie, I meant to ask you too, on Memory Cafe in October, who's the entertainer?
We're doing a game, luckily I have some friends, and we're gonna do Name That Tune. We have all these different songs already picked out, and they're gonna play a little portion of it, and we're gonna have
Good
them
idea.
sing it, and name the tune,
Oh,
or name
that's
the
fun.
artist. Yeah, we'll have a couple of surprises,
Yeah.
couple of prizes and stuff, but that's what we're doing in October. Just looking for something different to do a few
It's the
different
third
things.
Thursday, right? That's the Memory Cafe.
Right, Memory
third
Cafe is a
Thursday.
Thursday. And that, like I say, that's the combination of both the senior center meal and the, Memory Cafe. So that's why a lot of the people that come to Memory Cafe come to the senior center anyways, but we do have others that, don't, okay,
And can I just ask, was that in October or September that you're gonna do?
October, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know the date, but it's the third Thursday.
Now, there's not too many here, everybody here, there's no long-term members of the Council on Aging. However, we have lost several of our longtime friends that used to come here. Carol, what's her name now? Alice Langlois, she was Council on Aging Chairman for several years, and she died this July. And then, I don't know if anybody knows Adam Ozaniak. He has a wife, Terry. They used to come to the senior center all the time. And he died in August. So it's kind of hits you home because they're getting closer to you and you think, oh God. But they were nice people. They really, really were. So. Do you have anything else to add that I didn't add about the prices and the times and everything?
One thing we found that on the potluck, the last 2 times we ran the potluck, and we keep it between the $3 and $5 range, and it depends on what the meal is, people signed up and didn't show. So we spent money on, last time we had at least 10 extra meals that we bought and paid for. So right now, what we're doing with the potluck, not so much Memory Cafe, but potluck, is you have to prepay. That's because we're finding that people are signing up and not showing up. So they want to come by and get their meal, they can do that, whatever they would like if they prepay. We're happy to do whatever everybody would like, but that's the only one right now that we're asking people to prepay. And then the other thing with the brown bag lunch, I talked to the library, and we're going to start having the brown bag lunch at the library. They said we could use the Phelps, there's a room anywhere where they have a movie. We do the lunches here and then bring them over there with coffee. They'd set up a movie, so we'll have brown bag lunch at a movie starting maybe in November at the library. So I'm trying to work that out with the librarian there. So that's something else we're trying to get going.
And it gives everybody else, people who go out, and if they might get sick of going to the same place all the time. So
Yeah.
at least this way they can see something different, And they're very nice there at the library too. So
This is our library, right?
yeah, the Dudley Library.
Yeah, the
yes.
Dudley Library. Yeah.
Right.
So just to clarify, so you're gonna eat the meal here first and then
No, they
you're
said we can
eating it
eat the
there.
meal right there.
And see, the brown bag lunches are made in the bag ahead
It's
of
always the
time.
It's already
same.
made in the bag.
Right.
Yeah.
So is anybody coming here first, or are they going straight to the
Right
library?
to the library.
Yeah,
Right to the library.
Right. So this is why usually it's on a Wednesday and the town hall is closed. We have to work on Tuesday and Thursdays only.
Right.
At this point. And then they might go, eventually when they have another meeting or something, they might end up being able to get back to the Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays and whatever. But we don't know that. We have to go by the Tuesday and Thursdays for all of our activities.
Are they still doing yoga on Monday?
No, nobody's allowed in the building.
Nobody's allowed.
No, that's not true. They are doing yoga on
Oh, are they?
Mondays.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
That's an interesting fact.
They are trying to reopen it in October. There was a concerted effort to do that. Of course, nothing's guaranteed, not 100%, but they are working to do that.
Yeah, so we have to work as if it's not gonna happen until it happens, you know.
And
Yeah.
Jonathan was willing to open the town for another day. I asked him for one more day. We always had lunches on Monday, and I asked him if we could go back to Monday lunches and just have the doors open for an hour for the seniors to come in, because you can always go out. It's just coming in. So he was willing to do that, so I went to the seniors and I asked them, want to start going back on lunches on Monday? And you're doing your games on Monday? They all wanted to stay on Tuesday. So this time I didn't open it another day. It's most likely we will be opened at least one more day, we're assuming in October, middle of October. So at that point, everything would be back to being open more often.
Cause that they.
But they didn't want to change.
Yeah.
So, they're happy, so this is what they want.
Okay, something new. Steve, can you give a little talk on about the American Veterans Heritage Museum and any changes that you've heard? about
Sure.
them?
So the VFW, Veterans of Foreign War, is my post, which is out of Webster, but it covers Webster and Dudley. They're interested as much as the Council of Aging are interested in doing it. And they did do some evaluations, and it's a little expensive, they found so far. That a lot of the veterans, like the senior citizens, they would really need to have a bus that has a bathroom on it available, and also to have some medical equipment available, okay? So the cost would be per hour. They're coming out so far, like $200 an hour. Now by bus to travel, to get everyone up to Hudson, we're not sure how long it would take exactly, but I'm thinking a few hours. And then the bus would hang there. So it'd be very expensive. So the numbers we're kind of coming up with, even the veterans of the VFW, the majority of them were kind of opposed to it, because they have to have a lunch, they would have to make the trip, and it's pretty much like an all-day event, and it'd be very expensive to have the proper bus to support, both communities, because both communities are basically similar. We have a lot of veterans who are involved in us they actually think I'm a kid. I'm 58. I'm like the kid of the group, and have been involved with them since I was 50, and the last 8, 9 years, 10 years or so. And I always thought of me being, because a lot of them there's still World War II veterans around, Korean War veterans, Vietnam, and they look at me as a youngster, So, but they would need to have the proper bus, and as you would need. So it seems to be kind of a long shot, but they're trying to work with some numbers, with some discount additional. So they're offering a pretty good discount for veterans, because they are veterans. It's a veterans event location, and it would be a discount on that. But the bus is very expensive. It almost seems like you'd have to take your privately owned vehicle there, and then agree to meet somewhere, maybe coming back after the museum to have lunch or something like this. But it seems to be that it's not cheap, and I think probably would be too expensive for the population to which we work with on both sides, meaning the senior citizens and the veteran community. And you really do need to have facilities on the bus, okay? And we know that people become sick, and the defibrillator would be needed probably to have available, just in case. We have to be concerned about those things. We have many nurses here, right? You understand?
Probably have a defibrillator at the facility more than likely, but
Yep.
on the bus, I don't, not on the
There are
bus.
portable ones, I've had them, like,
Yeah, they all.
you know.
It depends on the
Yeah,
company.
but right now,
Some do have them.
it seems to be that the price point is higher than anyone would want to see at this point. And I was shocked by the amount of money the bus would do out per hour. So they're quoting $200 to $300 an hour. Okay.
Like the bus full too, right? That
With or
was-
without the facility, without having a bathroom, even if it's not cheap, you know? It's the price of fuel, they have to pay the person to drive the bus, you know, the maintenance that goes with it. I'm sure that's the number they came up with.
Right, and the thing too is people go inside into the museum, and if they're there 2 hours, 3 hours, you're still paying the
Yes.
$200 an hour. Yeah, and
So far, that's what we've come up with. We're interested in going to, the veteran community, and they did, the senior vice commander, who's just under the commander for the post, he did a great, really a thorough investigation, research into the prospect. And I had mentioned to him that we're interested too, being a council of agent, be interested. But the price point, I think it's gonna be, we'd have to agree to go there in our own vehicles, you know, carpool. I think that's probably the only way to do it. But in that too, you're gonna have people who are gonna have to stop quite often, maybe, you know, to use facilities along the way, and we don't know what's gonna be on the way. You know, so it's not over, but so far, that's what the VFW has come up with. I apologize for that information.
Well,
but that-
thanks for checking into that, Steve, yeah.
It came out last week. Last Tuesday, we had a meeting with the VFW, and I'm their veteran service officer, and, you know, they talked about the past commander as well, and we talked about it thoroughly, and I thought he did a good job, but, of course, this is information I don't like to talk about, because it's like a negative, you know, as far as attending, you know. So as the last meeting we had, just to recap, July 1st, I became the Veterans Officer at Creative District between Webster and Dudley. So I was a Dudley Veterans Officer for 7 years, and I still am, but Webster decided to come in with Dudley and form a district. So in Massachusetts, you either have to have a Veterans Officer per town, or you can district, where you'll have several communities come together. We'll have a Veterans Officer and staff to maintain services for veterans in the community. So currently, since July 1st, I've had both the town of Dudley and the town of Webster, and it's been a little challenging, but we're making it happen. I had my evaluation today with Jonathan here in Dudley, and they seem to be pretty happy the way things are going. He hasn't heard anything from Webster, he says, which is probably good news, you know. You know,
No
bad
news
news
is good
call.
news, huh?
Yeah. So he says they usually communicate pretty clear. I've had a few discussions over there, and I've heard positive things in their end, in Webster, but things are working out. It's been a challenge trying to put things together and say, well, so many hours in Dudley, in Webster. I'm just going where the fires are, to try to maintain both sides. And the veterans can visit me either in Webster at the Veterans Home, or they can visit me here in Dudley, okay? I just tell everybody, you see my Jeep, I'm probably behind my desk, you know, I'm probably there. So that's it. So thank you for your support on that as well. And I still want to be part of the Council of Aging, as I've been for the last, I don't know, 9 or 10 months or so. Right, Deb, how long you been here now?
Almost a year next month.
Okay, so I came into working with the Council of Aging like 3 or 4 months before Deb came. Initially, they had asked me to get involved until they found what they call a permanent director. I'm not sure it's all permanent, but they wanted a permanent director, so they wanted me to step in just because I'm a department head and the Veteran Services are close to the Council of Aging, that we could work together. So I'm still here. I still plan to come to most of the meetings. I may miss one because of need, but I'm here. So thank you. Thank you for your support too.
Thank you.
We missed you.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Thank you for the information today. Now, I'm gonna ask Anita, she has, did some backup work on the creative pictures. She can explain that to her, about that.
I talked with Michael Capers, C-A-P-E-R-S. He owns the Art Lab in Auburn, Massachusetts. They make sea glass windows, and so I checked out some prices. I can show you some. This is one of the varieties. It doesn't necessarily need to look like this, but this is the kind of thing.
Nice.
What it is a picture frame, and all the materials are purchased from Art Glass. They seal the pieces with resin after you arrange everything. You arrange it on a frame. The frames go from anywhere from 5x7 to 11x14 with increments of price thereof. 5x7, the smallest, is $35. The largest one is $75, but that's 11x14. What we need to do is have a space for the resin to dry as well. So I asked some of the ladies if they would be interested in doing this, that come to the center, and I showed them the photographs that I have of the various things. There's tons more, but I just copied a few that were different. You know, what can you use this for? A gift. B, you could hang it in a window where the sun comes through and it looks like stained glass that you hang in the window. I kind of like the larger one myself, maybe an 8x10, because that way it'll look like a stained glass window. And some of the ladies said, well, I'm not sure that I know that I could use that, so I'm not sure whether this can go or not. And the cost is not, I don't think the cost is negotiable. I think that's what it is. You can either choose a white frame or a gray frame to do this. They're really quite effective. I think the Women's Club did that one year, and they really liked it.
I know that once they did it, was last year, that they had a big table in the hallway, and they had the work they had done, and they had to keep it flat to dry after they put the resin on it, yeah.
Is there a minimum that you have to promise them for them to be able to come?
No, they said no minimum number of persons to attend. I mean, you can go to the place in Auburn too. It's near the Auburn Mall. You could go there, but I don't know if anyone would like to do that. It'd have to be a commitment of $35, $55, or $75. That's what it is for all the different sizes. So, I mean,
And he
they are
supplies
good
everything.
gifts. They are nice gifts, but I don't know the abilities, financial abilities of all concerned, unless they planned for it.
Is it all a beach theme, like the pictures you showed, or could there be various themes?
I've just seen the sea ones. I don't know if there are any ones. I wonder if there's flowers too. I think he could do flowers too, but I don't really know. He didn't say anything about that. We could ask him. I think the sizes are the sizes. That's what they are. But the issue is he provides all the frame and all the materials. So what we're talking about is seascape kinds of things at this point. Does anyone else know about that? Because I didn't ask him about anything else.
They might have a website we could check on.
Yeah, they do.
But this would give, since we don't have Bemis coming anymore, this would give everybody
lab.
something else different to do as an activity.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to keep doing things with everybody instead of just coming to eat and.
That's a great idea.
and that's it,
They
so.
look lovely, yeah.
They are lovely. I kind of like to see one because I miss the ocean. We're too far away as far as I'm concerned, but it is nice. I have more information if you want that here. It's Art Glass Lab. Just that, how to contact them. I told him that we would be meeting in September. That's our first meeting. So after that, if we're going to arrange something, then we can call him. He wasn't there. I just left a message on his machine, his phone machine, and he called me right back within a half an hour. So I was able to do that.
Evelyn, did you want to say anything about your trips?
Yeah, the Washington trip, people are sending in their deposits for that. And I just got a new trip, it's, for the fall, September, Lancaster and the Dutch country. But it also has a full day, a lot of people are interested in the gardens. And, Longwood Gardens is in Pennsylvania as well. So we have a whole day planned there. So I know this trip will fill up simply because the garden clubs in the area are all interested. And I went on a trip that actually, I think it was the Woodstock, or maybe Thompson Garden Club put on up to Maine. And it was just amazing to see they had architecture in there as well as the plants and and it was lovely, so, people asked about it, and my daughter was not interested in doing a longer trip. So I said, well, I'll do that, fine. So I know, there's gonna be a lot of interest in that, and I put flyers downstairs already, so. And I have flyers if anybody's interested.
One other thing I wanted to bring up is the fact of trying to keep it so that it's not so expensive for the seniors to, you know, if I left having to go up on the prices and everything. If anybody thought of any fundraisers that we might be able to have to try to add some money onto our budget somehow, with, you know.
That's a good point, Jan, because I was actually thinking about that with the budget situation. They took away, you know, what we had. Is there a grant writer in Dudley that we could utilize to write a grant for us for the
I've
senior
already
center?
written 2 grants for next year. I have been writing grants.
Oh, so you're the
For
one-
entertainers. right.
Okay.
And it's through the Dudley Cultural Council.
And they do that, and so you do the paperwork for that? And are there any other grants available, like even larger ones, to help us fund a larger event, or?
Well, I know in the past, we've had, like, not an auction, but like, one of them was at Christmas time, and we wanted to get some money, so we had people brought their own supplies, and they rented a table, and I think it was only on a Saturday, I'm not sure, that was about 3-4 years ago, and, they made quite a bit of money with that, and people brought their stuff in, but they sold whatever they brought in, and they wanted to sell, but they paid so much for the table. And then they did give us a certain percentage of, you know, what they earned, and I wasn't involved with that, so I can't really say, but I mean, that worked out well. I mean, we made quite a bit of money, so that was able to save us some money on the Memory Cafe. Because we've been doing the Memory Cafe now at 7 years. I think this is going to be the 8th year after we've been in it. But,
I believe that Jim also cooked like meatballs. We had subs. We were sold those
yeah.
here.
But
That
see,
was
he's
a
not
fine
cooking.
Sandwiches,
Yeah.
You can buy those.
Yeah.
So it was a yard sale?
This was a yard sale in the building. You know, like we had it in
In the
our
building.
center. We closed down. It was a day that it wasn't the hall. The town hall was open 5 days a week. So we had the whole senior center, and we had the police department's check the room there they have next to us, and then we also had some in the hallway, and it was open all day to the public. Come in and take a look and buy what they wanted. Yes, it wasn't just the people that came here; it was open to the public here.
And what day was it on?
I can't remember.
Saturday.
I want to say Saturday, but I'm not sure. I couldn't say for sure what day it was. And I don't have any notes on that or anything, because I wasn't involved just like that, like I am now. But I just remember we did it, and it was fun. And at Christmas time was good because they had a lot of Christmas things for sale, and like the kids would like
Christmas shops.
toys and things like that too.
And knitted things too. They were selling, right? when
Yeah,
the
yeah.
people that
So
knit.
it was crafters and yard sale?
Yes. Yeah, and it was things people brought from their home. In fact, that's what I started doing, is collecting things, and I said, I gotta get rid of this stuff in my house. You know?
That's a question. Did they have also cookies or something? you could
Yes, they
buy?
did,
Sweets,
they did,
sweets.
yes, yeah, yes, did.
Baked goods.
And so things like that, they're kind of, I think events like that are a little bit better like in early November.
Yeah, well, it was like I said, this is like for Christmas, we did that, around Christmas. It wasn't really, I mean, we were lucky, because it was a good day. It didn't snow, it didn't rain, the sun was shining, and it wasn't freezing outside. But, it took me.
And are you regulated on the outside by the town,
I don't know.
by Mr. Ruda?
I don't know. This was inside. I don't know of anything we've ever held outside. I really don't know. Like I say, I wasn't involved with that much.
It's a little cool then too. if we go to
Keep in
November.
mind-
We did try for a memory cafe, but we did away with that because, we were trying to, about the dementia committee, and then we were trying to earn money for the senior center and everything. And part of it was gonna be held at Nichols College. And then we finally decided it was gonna be just too hot for people to go to, because we were gonna have it at the end of July. And it was just way too hot. We didn't wanna take the liability of, because then you'd have to, we knew we were gonna have to have like a fire truck here, or an ambulance or something here, and then one at the Nichols College, so we just held it inside instead, with the smaller volume.
Good attendance.
Yeah.
Is anybody involved with the Alzheimer's Association?
Not really, I'm supposed to be, but I just haven't had the time. That's why I don't wanna really continue with this, cause I wanted to give up being chairman, because I could give more time, but can't do that. Nobody is interested, so I will try and run it as long as I can.
So how would we find out whether or not we would be able to use the parking lot? Who do you go to for that?
Selectmen perhaps, town manager.
You have to go to part of board meeting, Board of Selectmen's meeting. I have that like every other week on a Monday. You could get on the agenda, see Michelle, ask to be put in the agenda.
Yeah, we'd have to have it all written up, what we exactly
Uh-huh.
wanted, you know,
Right.
how many, everything, what's involved, cause then when you do something like that outside, you get electrical wiring and stuff like that, I think involved sometimes too. Yeah, and little things like that, so, I've never done anything like that, so, I really can't help there.
Keep in mind that the craft fair for Shepherd Hill is the third Saturday of the month too, in November.
Yeah, they always
Before
have that.
Christmas, so we don't wanna interfere with that one.
Or sometimes, or you can tag onto it.
Uh-huh.
And because people do tag on, you know how they do like town-wide yard sales, and a lot of people tagged on to the Woodstock Fair, so when the Woodstock Fair, when you're on your way to the fair, everybody had everything out in the road, they were doing their yard sales. But I mean, if you've already got people traveling in, you could utilize that.
Yeah, if you had a place you could set up, I don't think here in the town
Right.
hall would be that good. I don't think they have big enough people to park, cause you can't park on the road.
Need the place for parking, yeah.
That road, you can't park on the road, and, the parking lot, if we wanna use the parking lot for setting something up, there's no place for people to park other than the one here at our entrance.
Also, I don't know if it's still that way, at Shepherd Hill, they charge to go into the fair.
Yeah, they do, I think
Yeah.
it's $5 or $6 to get in now. It was $4 a long time ago.
A lot of times though, they send out those free passes, so you can get in for free, or you can get in at a discounted rate.
$1 off, something like that.
Right, yeah, yeah, but it would be interesting to see, I mean, if you could do it, I mean, in the inside, for liability purposes.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be out in the parking lot, you couldn't say you tripped over a curb or whatever.
Well, I know when we had it inside, there was nothing much involved. It didn't have anything extra we had to do to set it up and have it inside. Outside, we've never had it outside, so I don't know we'd have to find out step by step, everything that was involved, that we would have to be protected, the town would be protected.
Right,
Yeah.
but then it would also be hard, like if you couldn't get enough vendors to come, people aren't going to come. So like, could you utilize more space, like a space like this is huge.
Yeah.
It's nice, it's inviting, kinda like what they do, you know, in the church halls and whatnot, because they've got that big space. So, Board of Selectmen first.
That's a big undertaking. I mean, we really have to do some research on this. This isn't
Right,
something
right.
that we can just do in another month.
Oh, no,
It could not be done
absolutely
this
not.
year. It's a big undertaking. First
Mhm.
of all, you have to find out how you contact all these people.
Mhm.
You know, there's a lot.
it's springtime, people get antsy, they're ready to get out, they're ready for a bargain.
Well, number one, maybe we could talk to John and just see what he knows about that type of thing.
Just see what the protocol is.
Right, right, this is just to have what the liability would be, everything,
Mhm.
before we go out talking to any vendors or anything.
Right, oh
like
yeah,
that.
no,
Yeah.
I agree, I mean, you could start now, and then you could either do something in the spring or for next year, and you'd
Yeah.
already have it planned out.
Yeah, 'cause it takes a lot of work. I know when
Right.
I was involved with the dementia committee, that was really involved, and that was just not really doing anything money-wise or anything, but just setting that up for us, and it was a lot of work. Yes, sir.
You know, we're talking about the Shepherd Hill Craft Fair. What about the idea of the senior center having a table at the Shepherd Hill Fair and selling something?
How much it is per table, because they charge for tables.
I wonder if they would give us a discount as the senior center, you know? I know very little about that, I've only gone once, but
I've never
that was an
gone,
idea.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we could bake something, everybody, or try to sell something to make a profit.
Seniors here. You have to have a lot of people to make it worthwhile. When my husband had his own little business, selling walking sticks and hiking sticks, I think it was like, I wanna say $60 or $75 to set up. Now that was 20 years ago, so they're probably more than that. So if you're gonna, I mean, even if you have people baking to donate, in order to keep that table full, you've gotta have a lot of things.
Yeah. We could buy, the donuts, holes of donuts, and then sell them at a profit.
Well, that's what the Grange is doing for the Apple Festival this year. They're having, Bay Path make all of the,
Uh-huh.
all of the apple crisp and,
Apple recipes. Sounds good.
And they make good food.
Which makes sense. That makes sense, I mean, to do that.
do it that way.
And look at all the practice they got.
Yeah, really.
That's true.
Another choice could be a raffle of some sort. We knew somebody who made a wonderful quilt or little quilts or something like
Yeah,
that we
sure.
could raffle for a few months, you know. Support the seniors, buy a raffle ticket for a beautiful quilt. I'm not sure, I know somebody that quilts, but I
Oh,
think
yeah.
she's in between machines unless
That's
she's
a
got her new
great
one.
idea, and put it on display in the lobby downstairs.
Like the church does, they
Yeah.
have a quilt and just I think
Everybody
they draw
dies
it
to
on
win it.
their Christmas
wanna win.
weekend, which I think is the first weekend of December, they draw those things. But they start selling at the Strawberry Festival. They used to, they had a quilt there all the time and it would be drawn the first week in December at their craft fair. Cause they have a craft fair at the first weekend of December.
Yeah, 'cause Carol does it, and she donates her time and her quilts there for the church. Yeah.
She's in between machines. I don't know if she got her new one. She said her machine broke. Her
Yeah,
lawn
she has
broke.
it a lot.
I love her. She has beautiful quilts.
Yeah. Well, what we're gonna have to do is probably just think if we can maybe somehow get in contact with John and Rita and see what his aspect of the liability and things like that. Before we can maybe next meeting or the week meeting after that, probably have to give us time for that. Okay. Does anyone else have anything else they'd like to bring up that they feel that needs to get brought up? Oh, yeah, so anyways, as far as somebody replacing me, I'm still waiting to have somebody at least. You know, I would like to, I've been doing it for almost 2 years now, so it's time consuming. Not that bad, but for me, I'm getting too, well, I feel I'm getting old.
Everyone's getting younger here, so.
Jan, you've done a great job, and we thank you. And
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, if there's nothing else, if anybody want to, put it in, to end the meeting?
I make a motion and
Anybody second it?
Second.
Okay, meeting's adjourned.